Hello, Barbara friends. Welcome to Sundays with Allie. We're back again. It is April 8th. Happy Easter to all my Easter celebrating friends, and happy Passover to all my Jewish friends. We have a little matzah for the Jewish fans. We got the blue marble egg, little Easter egg, get it? For Easter folk. And welcome to the webcast. Hope you're all having a great holiday weekend and celebrating and enjoying your time with families and friends. Last night I was very busy. I was at my family Seder, which was just an immediate 19 people. Yes, I come from a very big family. And there were a couple of little Barbara moments that were kind of surprising. One, I was at my sister Shelley's house, and she has a very nice, beautiful, big house, and I was walking across the way to go to the ladies' room, going to the bathroom, and suddenly I hear Barbara singing "Lover Man, Where Can You Be?" And I looked over, and there in the bathroom was my sister Shelley's iPod connected to a pair of speakers, and it happened to be her mix of songs, and there was Barbara. And then a little while later, I happened to be walking by again, and it was Louis Armstrong singing Hello Dolly, only without Barbara. It was just Louis. So, a little Barbara reference for you. So, before we get into Barbara talk, we had sort of sad news this morning, depending on your point of view. Mike Wallace passed away at the age of 93. Mike Wallace, as all of you know, is sort of integrally connected to Barbara, because early in her career in 1961, she appeared over a dozen times on a talk show that he hosted in New York called PM East. And it was kind of a launching pad for Barbara, although PM East was only shown in New York. But it was still great exposure for her. She got to sing a lot. She got to be extremely provocative. She would, appear on this talk show and speak her mind and talk about all kinds of things. She possessed a brilliant mind. She thought nothing of commenting on a wide variety of topics. Things like, whether or not cured meats was good for you, whether milk was good for you. She got into a fight with David Susskind because he was a producer on Broadway, and she accused him of not letting talented young actresses like her audition. She had a wonderful exchange with Burt Lancaster, of all people, and Mickey Rooney was a big supporter of hers on the show. He loved her. He told him, "Don't change your nose, leave your nose exactly like it is." But Barbara's relationship with Mike Wallace was very, very contentious, because they were probably too much alike. Mike Wallace was cantankerous and ornery, and he thought that Barbara should be grateful and pliable and do what he told her to do. And Barbara did not want to be that. She felt, "I'm there as a guest. I am providing entertainment. I am singing. I am talking. This is a symbiotic relationship. You're getting something out of it. I'm getting something out of it. Don't act like you're doing me a big favor." So they butted heads. Then, 30 years later, 60 Minutes wanted Barbara to do a profile on her career. Because by 1991, Barbara was one of the biggest stars in the world. Prince of Tides was about to come out. And Marty Ehrlichman, Barbara's manager, saw it as a great opportunity for Barbara to promote the show. 60 Minutes was the #1 rated show in the country. 20 million people viewed in every week, every Sunday night, to watch that show. So 20 million people were going to learn about the Prince of Tides. So Barbara, agreed to the interview. They did a whole nostalgia thing. They went back to her apartment in New York, the one that was over Oscar's Salt of the Sea restaurant. They walked up the stairs. She showed Mike around the old apartment. They went to Sbarro's and had a slice of pizza together. They walked on the streets of New York. They definitely had some positive interactions, a kind of Barbara back in New York kind of thing. But the really, meat of the interview was when Mike uh, asked Barbara very personal and probing questions about her relationship with her mother, Diana Kind. Barbara got very emotional. Mike had some film of Diana saying that Barbara had no time for her and had no time for anybody in her life. And it was, we didn't see the whole interview with Diana. We only saw 35 seconds. So she might have explained herself, but that's not what we saw, and that's not what apparently Barbara saw. So it came off as extremely hurtful. And when Barbara, when Mike Wallace confronted Barbara with this information that she had no time for anybody in her life, Barbara got very emotional and she started to cry. And then she actually turned and asked the cameras to stop. So that was historic because Mike Wallace left that in the final cut. 60 Minutes ran with it. They ran with it, they repeated it, and it wasn't until 2006 that Mike Wallace finally admitted that he was wrong, that he apologized to Barbara and said that he had gone too far. Of course, by then, it was really water under the bridge. But I want you guys to, I'm going to write more about this on my site, examiner.com, where I am the Barbra Streisand expert, and I will write more about it in detail and also refer to an article that I wrote back in November where I went into even more detail about Barbara and Mike's background. So that's today's big news about, Barbara world, sort of, Barbara and somebody in her life. Now, as far as the latest news, the Brooklyn concert, which I'm not even supposed to be talking about because it's not official and I keep getting told it may not be happening, we're still getting little tidbits of information that it may be happening. The Barclays Center in Brooklyn is actually opening on September 21st with a Jay-Z concert. Jay-Z is a part owner of the New York Nets. The New York Nets are well, actually the New Jersey Nets, but they're going to become the Brooklyn Nets, the NBA basketball team. They are going to be playing their games in the Barclays Center. So Jay-Z, as a part owner of the team, is going to open the entire arena. He's the first act, and he's doing a big concert. That's in September. In October, there's still the possibility that Barbara's going to do a couple of concerts. It looks like, there have been hints on the boards, on Facebook. There's been indications that something is in the works, but again, nothing official. We may not get anything official until the end of the month. So I don't want to say too much about it, except that if I was a betting girl, which I'm not a betting girl, I think it's going to happen. Between you and me, I'd prefer she concentrate on Gypsy, but this may be too good an opportunity to pass by. And, we know that if she did do a concert in Brooklyn, it would probably be a CD, it would probably be a DVD, it might be a television special. There's a lot of ancillary stuff that they could do, not to mention, selling concessions, selling merchandising. There's a lot of parts to this that would make it very attractive to Barbara and her camp for her to do it, even if it was only 2 nights. So that's the Brooklyn status. The Gypsy status, I'm hearing that there's a lot of stuff going on. There are people being hired. There are all kinds of contracts being written. Things are definitely progressing. I don't know how soon we're going to hear casting and directing, but if you are concerned or worried that nothing's going on, think again. A lot is going on. A lot is happening. Okay? Okay, good. No further word on Guilt Trip, except that, we're waiting for the trailer, waiting for the teaser, waiting for the poster, waiting for the pictures. I wish to God, somebody would release a few photographs. Entertainment Weekly does all these wonderful, first picture from the movie. Well, let's get the first picture from the Guilt Trip, Somebody commented that they don't like the name The Guilt Trip. You know what? I'm not crazy about it either. I wasn't crazy about My Mother's Curse, but you know what? Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Because if the movie's good, whatever it's called, it's okay. You know, I mean, I'm sure when they, proposed a movie called The Way We Were, somebody said, that's a ridiculous title. What do you mean The Way We Were? What works about that? Well, it worked. I mean, when Peter Bogdanovich proposed the idea of doing What's Up, Doc, he had no script. He just liked the title. He figured if it worked for Bugs Bunny, it could work for him and Barbra Streisand. So that's the status on the guilt trip. We just have, we have to be patient. We have to wait and see what happens. I do think we might be getting some information about the 12 DVD set and maybe the Release Me CD, maybe the end of the month, probably later on in the spring. And I do think we could probably count on some release coming in the fall. Also, William Mann's book, Hello Gorgeous, is finally you can go pre-order it on Amazon if you like. Now, this book is a biography of Barbra, but it only covers the first few years of her career. It starts probably in like 1960 or 61 when she first came to the Village and started singing in the Bonsoir and the Lion, and then all through I Can Get It For You Wholesale. The book ends with her opening on Broadway in Funny Girl. So this is a very, very precise, concise period of time in Barbra's life. Should be fascinating. According to Matt Howe of Barbra Archives, who read the book, who had a chance to preview it, he says it's excellent. Also, I want to give a shout out. There's a site called, what's the name of it? It's called Barbra Streisand Is My Addiction. And it's run by a girl named Danielle. And I happened to see it. It's all photos. It's fun to look at. Danielle is a young fan from Canada. And I just want to, welcome her into the Barbra Circle and encourage you guys, if you haven't looked at the site yet, to take a look at it. And if you want to know, if you can't find it, Barbra Streisand Is My Addiction, email me and I'll send you the link. Okay? And until next week, because I'm running out of time, it's already 12 minutes and 43 seconds. I can't believe I blabbed so much. Until next week, happy Easter, happy Passover. Hope you guys are going to have a great week. And I'll see you next week for more with Sundays with Allie. Okay? Bye-bye.